Hi everyone, welcome back to the Fall Garden series and welcome to my kitchen herb garden. I absolutely love growing my own fresh herbs. They just add so much flavor to the food. It's incredible, and it's really fun to have an herb garden right outside my kitchen door for easy access, just to pop out here, snip and clip herbs to throw in my recipes. Today I'm going to share with you how to grow 4 cool weather herbs for your fall garden. Now, some herbs love the warm summer temperatures like rosemary, basil, thyme. Those are delicious, yummy herbs, but some enjoy the cooler temperatures of fall. I do have some of those cool weather herbs growing in my herb garden right now, so let's take a closer look and we'll get our seeds planted along the way. Well, today I'm going to show you how to keep it really simple with planting your herbs by planting them in 2 different ways. The 6-pack little seed cells are a super quick way to get them started. You can start them indoors under grow lights if your garden beds are full, or if it's too warm where you live, like it is here in our southern climate. Or you can start them in small little containers. We're going to plant them in the CaliChem 1-gallon containers today. Those are a perfect size to grow herbs indoors. And yes, you can grow them inside all winter. It's amazing to have your own fresh herbs right at your fingertips when it's just too darn cold to get out in the garden. So first off, we're going to plant some chives. Let me show you what the chives look like here. They're actually growing pretty well here in my warm weather garden. This is a pretty much shaded area all day, so I've been able to keep some of the cool weather herbs growing. Now, chives are a perennial, which make them a really nice herb to grow because you can actually divide the clumps and they come back year after year. I just gave these chives a little haircut and made some delicious herbed Greek yogurt dip. We really enjoy chives snipped in scrambled eggs, snipped in salads. We pretty much eat them on just about everything. And they grow back after you give them a little haircut, like I just mentioned. Here's some chives that actually need a haircut. Let me show you how long these are. Sometimes in the hot weather, they do get a little bit dry, but typically you can just snip them off right here with a pair of scissors and they grow right back. We're planting onion chives today from the CaliChem herb seed collection. And there's 2 different types of chives you can plant, onion chives and garlic chives, and both have a very mild flavor without having to go to the trouble of planting the full onion or the full garlic. Chives are an amazingly hardy perennial. They can survive temperatures down to -35, so that's pretty crazy. And in mild winter climates, they'll grow all winter long, stay nice and green. They thrive best in temperatures of 85 degrees or under. So here I'm just sprinkling some seeds in the little seed cells. I'm going to plant 2 different seed cells. They're pretty slow to germinate. Sometimes they can take up to 2 weeks. So just be patient, hang in there. You'll get some beautiful little green, almost grass-like shoots coming up. They germinate best at temperatures around 60 degrees. So here I'm just covering them very lightly with a little sprinkle of soil. You don't want to plant them too deeply, maybe a 1/4 inch or so. You're going to let them grow here in these seed cells for about 4 to 6 weeks, and then they'll be ready to transplant out in your garden. I'm going to plant chives in the CaliChem 1-gallon smart pots in exactly the same way. Just a different size container. These I'm not going to transplant. I'm actually going to grow these indoors all winter. Add a nice bright splash of color to your indoor garden, and they're the perfect size to sit in front of your windowsill or just to pop under grow lights. The second cool weather herb we're going to grow today is dill. Now, I don't have any dill growing in my herb garden, but I did start some seeds indoors about a month ago when I started my other fall vegetables. You can see it there right at the bottom of the seed tray. It's kind of light and feathery, and we love to snip it again in scrambled eggs. Of course, who doesn't love a good dill pickle? It adds such an amazing flavor, and it's so easy to grow your own and save money so you don't have to buy dill at the grocery store. So once your dill plants flower and go to seed, you can harvest the seeds and use these as a spice in your recipes, or you can snip the feathery leaves and use them to flavor your food, like I just mentioned. Now, the variety of dill we're going to plant today is called mammoth dill. It's a nice tall variety. This is in my herb seed collection and also in my fall garden seed collection. Sprinkle a few over the soil. Now, dill doesn't always like to transplant real well. It has kind of sensitive roots, so you can sow them right in place in your garden beds if you're already experiencing nice cool weather under 75 or 80 degrees, or you can grow them indoors in the wintertime in the little containers. I'm going to cover them again with a little bit of soil, not too much because they are tiny seeds. Once your dill seedlings have germinated and grown in the seed cells for about 4 or 5 weeks, you can get them transplanted into containers or into your garden beds. But just be careful when you transplant them because, like I mentioned, the roots don't like to be disturbed. So these dill seedlings are about 4 weeks old. So what I'm going to do is actually make a couple little holes here And these you can grow indoors under grow lights or in a sunny windowsill. They will tend to get a little bit leggy in a sunny windowsill, but it can be done if you don't have grow lights. Now, don't let the thought of grow lights intimidate you. I've got a video on 4 easy setups, so head over to watch that. I'll put a link in the video description so you know exactly how to get some setup for your winter growing. So here I'm just digging out the little transplants, the little seedlings out of the seed cells. It's kind of easy when you do it with a spoon. Just get way down under it so you don't disturb the roots. Pull it out, and you can see these are just a little bit leggy, but no worries. I'm going to plant them kind of deep into my container here to kind of support the leggy stems. You want to harvest dill when it gets to about 8 inches or so, which these are just about there. So I could even start snipping the little feathery leaves here and adding them into my food. Now, the good thing about most herbs is you want to harvest them regularly. The more you snip them, the more productive your herbs are going to be. So adding a little bit more soil to the top, just to give those leggy stems a little bit more support. I'm using some fresh potting mix here for my containers. This is Good Dirt potting mix. You really don't want to use your garden soil. It's kind of heavy and it doesn't drain real well. The Smart Pots have really good drainage. The fabric's aerated. You definitely want a container that has good drainage. The last 2 cool weather herbs that we're going to plant today are cilantro and parsley. I don't have any cilantro growing right now, but I do have some parsley doing very well here. Typically cilantro and parsley thrive in the cooler temperatures under 80 degrees, but the parsley is loving its spot here in the shade. Normally it likes full sun in the cooler temps, but look at the green color of the leaves. I think it's really an underrated herb. It adds a delicious flavor to sauces. So good in fresh tomato sauce. It freshens your breath, and we love chopping it up and adding it into salads and over grilled vegetables. So it's super delicious. What I found is when I cook with parsley, I need to add a lot less salt. So it really does flavor your food and very healthy for you as well. When you're growing parsley, you are going to need some patience, as the seeds can take 3 to 4 weeks to germinate. And after germination, once they're about 2 to 3 inches tall, you can transplant them out into your garden bed or in a container. Parsley can also be grown indoors in the wintertime. We'll have more videos on indoor gardening as the weather gets colder. And it's really an interesting herb. It's what's called a biennial. It produces the leaves the first year. In the winter, in cold climates, it will die back. In the winter, in climates like I have here in Southern California, it will grow all winter long. And then the second year, once you cut it back or it dies back, the second year it will produce flowers and then seeds. The bees absolutely love the flowers. Once the flowers completely dry, you can either harvest the seeds or let them drop in your garden bed, and then your parsley will reseed the next year. We're on to our last cool weather herb now, and that is cilantro. Now, you either love cilantro or you hate it. Some people think it tastes like soap. I happen to love it. But if you're one of those people that don't like it, let me know in the comments below. Now you can see that cilantro has a really hard outer shell, which also makes it a difficult herb to germinate. So you can either soak the seeds overnight, or I usually forget to do that before I plant. So what you can also do is just crush the seeds up with like a rolling pin, a rock, any kind of hard item that will crush and break that outer shell and make the seeds easier to plant. Cilantro is another one of those herbs that you can also use the seeds to flavor your food or grow it for the leaves. So the seeds are actually called coriander, and then the leaves are called cilantro. So here we've got the hard outer shells of the cilantro seeds are broken. We're going to sprinkle them into our container. And they can take 2 to 3 weeks to germinate, so just be patient. Gardening is a great way to learn patience. Grow them indoors in the winter. They're going to take light frosts, but then die back if you get real hard freezes. But in Southern California or in other warm winter climates, the winter time is the best time to grow any of these herbs. Usually November through February is our best cool weather growing time. Cilantro roots don't like to be disturbed, so just be careful when you're transplanting them into your garden. Or you can also plant the seeds right into place in your garden beds. You want to keep your seeds nice and moist, especially while they're germinating. If it turns a light brown color, that's a sign that it's drying out. So I like to mist them every day with a spray bottle just to keep them nice and moist and wet.
Whether you're growing herbs in your containers or garden beds outdoors, or whether you're going to grow them indoors, they're an absolutely wonderful way to grow your own food this fall and winter. Head over to CaliChimGardeningHome.com, grab yourself a fall garden seed collection or an herb seed collection, and let me know if you'll be growing with me this fall and winter. Make sure you subscribe. Lots more videos to come all throughout the fall and winter months. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video.